Welcome to Jewelry Making with Emily. To make this necklace, you're going to need 2 strings of 60 centimeters each, or 24 inches, 6 strings of 45 centimeters each, or 18 inches, 2 strings of 85 centimeters each, or 34 inches, and 1 string of 120 centimeters, or 48 inches. You're going to need a pair of scissors, a lighter, glue, and a charm of your choice. I'm going to start with the 2 strings of 60 centimeters each, or 24 inches each. I'm going to find the middle, and that's where I'm going to start. So I'm just going to pin my strings to my board. So this string will be the string that these 2 strings that goes around here. Then I'm going to take one of the 45 centimeter string, or 18 inches. I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to do a reverse lark's head. So I'm going to go underneath like this. And I'm going to feed the 2 ends into the loop here and pull tight. And then I'm going to do an extra knot on each side, going like this. On top, into the loop and pull. Same on this side. On top, behind, into the loop and pull. I'm going to need 5 of these. Okay, now that I've put the last one in, I'm going to make sure that they're all in the middle of that string there. 10 strings here, 2 over here. And I have 1 more of the 45 centimeter string left. So I'm going to take it. I'm also going to fold it in half. So I'm going to want the middle of this string to land here. So I'm going to start on this side here. So I'm going to pin it anywhere, doesn't matter. Just so that I know this is still the middle. And this string is going to do this second row here. This string will be my lead string, and each will make 2 knots on top of it. So I hold it with my right hand. I'm going to the right. So this is underneath, on top and behind. Then I'm going to bring it as close as possible to the first line, and I'm going to pin it right away, the knot, because there's nothing securing it on this side. So the first is always harder. And then I'm going to make the same knot again. And I'm going to repeat this with the second string. Same, just on top like this, into the loop. Repeat with all the strings. Okay, so now I've done the last knot over here. So I got my second row. I'm going to undo this pin here. Now we're going to take each end and we're going to bring it back towards the middle. So we're going to be making this part over here. So I'm going to put a pin just underneath, so it makes like a barrier to come back towards itself. So I'm going to start with this side. I'm just going to bring it around the pin, and then I'm going to make 2 knots with each. I'm going to separate this in 2. So I'm going to have 5 strings on each side. So start with the first one, the same knot. Just come back like this towards the middle. So that's string number 4, and on string number 5 we're not going to make it as close to the line just above, because we're coming towards to cross these 2 sides. So we're going to leave it a little space. So now we're going to do the same thing with this side towards the middle. So we got 5 on each side, and we got these 2 in the middle. So we're gonna join them here. So I'm gonna take the left one on top of the right one and make the same kind of knot just on top. I'm gonna make 2 of these. There we go. I'm gonna put these 2 to the side, these 2 to the side. We're gonna take the next 2. So that's gonna be just to make that tiny little dot there on each side. So I'm gonna take the one from the inside, so number 4, and I'm gonna go on top of this one, tighten it, and now I'm gonna go underneath and inside, like this. So that makes a lark's head. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. So with string number 3 and 4. So the one from the inside is going on top of this one, and then underneath. Now we're gonna start the diamond part. So we're gonna take this one in the middle on the right side, and it's gonna be my lead string. The one right next to it is gonna make 2 knots on top of it. Then the one right next to it, 2 knots. Now when we get to the last string, we're only gonna make 1 knot this way. And then we're gonna come back around with the lead string, but towards the middle of the diamond, and we're gonna make 1 knot the other way. So that will make it a nice curve. So let's put these to the side, and we'll do the other side like this. So I know I have 4, that's how I keep track. So I'm gonna find the one in the middle, and I'm gonna do the same thing. And then with the last string, 1 knot this way, turn around, lead string, 1 knot this way. Now I'm gonna use the 2 in the middle, and these are gonna be my my little knot there. But before I do that, I'm gonna come back around with another string, because I want to make sure that knot is in the middle. So this will give me a better idea of where to put the knot. So just start closing the diamond like this. So now I can see that this knot needs to be about right there. So I'm not going to tighten it all the way so that it's in the middle. And this is just going to be a simple overhand knot, like this. So I want to kind of stretch it so that it sits in the middle of the diamond. And I'm going to close the diamond. I'm going to use this one as my lead string. This one will make 2 knots on top of it. Next step is to make this little section on each side. So we're gonna do that with these 2 that we haven't touched yet. So I'm gonna make the lark's head knot. I'm gonna make 4 of them. So the one on the inside goes on top of this one, underneath into the loop, and then so that's a half, and then under into the loop in the middle. So that count as 1. So we're going to repeat. I need 4, 1 more on top and underneath. And we're going to do the same thing with this side, on top, underneath. So now we're going to take the 1 string that's on the outside. We're going to turn this like this, and use this one as the lead string. And we're gonna come and close on top of the diamond. So this one will be the lead string, and each of these 4 will make 2 knots on top of it. Now we got the 2, we're gonna close. Now we just have to do this small section. I only need 4 in the middle. These we're gonna cut and burn after. So we're gonna start with the one in the middle on this side. 2 knots. Come back. 2 knots. Now we take this one. 2 knots. Come back. 2 knots. Join the 2 in the middle. And repeat. Now let's just verify that it's gonna go around the crystal good. Okay, so this is gonna sit like this on top of the crystal. So now we need to do this side here and this side here. So the number of knots you're gonna make will depend on your own crystal. So I'm gonna start, let's do 3 on each side. So this one's gonna go over, underneath here, and then it's gonna go under and on top. So I'm gonna do 3 on each side and 3 on this side. Okay, let's test, see how it fits. So I'm gonna do 1 more on each side and test it again, because you don't want to have to undo it. So let's try 1 more on each side. Okay, so that's close enough. I'll be able to close it. So I needed 4 on each side. Okay, now let's do some cleaning before we continue. So these, make sure you don't cut these. They're important, and these. But we're gonna go ahead and cut these 4 and these 4. Cut and burn. And as always, when you're cutting and burning, make sure you don't burn your fingers, but also don't burn your work. So be careful. So now we're gonna go and tie in the back of the crystal. So I'm making sure that I'm positioning this where I want it to be, in the front. So I want this part here to be the front, like this. So I'm gonna take these 2 on each side, and I'm gonna do a simple overhead knot, but I'm gonna tighten it as hard as I can. Hold that one in the middle and do another knot. Okay, now this is the part where you can glue for extra security. I like to glue underneath here in the front, and I'll glue a little bit here. So I'm gonna use this glue I like to use. I get it from Amazon. I'm gonna let it sit for about 24 hours before I finish the necklace. Okay, now that the glue has set overnight, we're gonna finish this part here and then connect it together and then do the necklace. So I have those 4 strings here. So I'm gonna take the 2 on the outside, and they're gonna, that one's gonna act as my lead string towards the right. And this one will make 2 knots on top of it, like this. And then take the outside one also on this, from this side. It will be the lead towards the left. Then the next one right next to it, we'll make 2 knots on top of it. And then we're going to join the 2 in the middle. And I'm going to repeat. Okay, so we got this part. Now let's check to make sure that it's enough. Okay, so if we see it joins, that's perfect. So now I'm going to join these 2 together. So I'm going to take this one from the top part and I'm going to change the angle. So the first one here is going to act as my lead string. And the 2 from the bottom part we just did are going to make the knots on top of this one. Like this. One, 2. 1, 2 with the one next to it. And we're going to take this one that's left from the top and we'll do the same thing. And now I'll join these 2 at the bottom. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to cut and burn. We got the beautiful crystal point. Now we're going to make the necklace part. So we're going to take the 2 strings of 85 centimeters each, or 34 inches, and I'm going to join them together at the end like this with a simple overhead knot. Like this. And then I'm going to take the long string, the one that's 120 centimeters or 48 inches. I'm going to fold it in half and I'm going to place it at 15 centimeters or 6 inches here. And I'm going to put it behind and I'm going to make a square knot. So these are my 2 string, my 2 support string. So the left side goes under the support string on top of this one here. This one goes on top of everything in through the loop. And then we pull each side together. And now I'm gonna do 2 more square knots. So at first this one went behind, so this one goes behind on top of this one goes on top of everything into the hole here, and tighten it and do 1 more time. Behind, on top, this one on top into here, and we pull. Okay, so this is how I like to start the necklace part. So now it's gonna be, I like to do a 4-stranded rounded braid. Make sure you pin this. For the sake of the video, I'm doing it on the macrame board, but I actually like to hang this part and do it standing up. It's easier. So we take the far left, it goes behind the number 2 and 3. And then on top like this in the middle of these 2. Then we take the far right and it does the same thing. It goes underneath this one and this one. And into the middle. Then tighten it. Now you see this one, it tells you I'm next. So you take this one again, behind the 2, and then on top in the middle here, pull it tight. And that's why I say it's easier to do it standing up. this part. So then we take this string again underneath these two in the middle here, and you're just gonna, and you make sure you push it up. If you do it standing up, you don't have to keep pushing up because you kind of hold it at the same time. And you're just gonna repeat until you get to the end. So I've done the braid all the way down, and I'm gonna leave about the same length as the top here, so when we tie it, it's equal length. So just measure when you're getting towards the end, and then you take the two smallest string, and these are gonna do the same knots that we did at the beginning, the 3 square knots. I'm just gonna do 3 square knots to finish this. There we go. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make it just a simple overhead knot, but I'm going to measure so that they're the same distance. So I have to do it at the very end of these two strings. Tighten it. So before we feed the necklace part through the pendant, we're going to cut and burn. So now we feed it through. And we're gonna join these two like this, opposite. Usually I have enough left over to make the square knot. So just find a piece from your leftover strings, or if not, just cut a new string of about 25 centimeters is plenty, or 10 inches. So we're gonna do just a 6 square knot, same square knot that as we did here. Underneath, on top, into the loop. Underneath, on top, into the loop. There we go, that's our sliding knot. I'm just gonna do a simple overhead knot. I like to do that, or you could cut and burn directly, that's up to you. I like to do a simple overhead knot and push it very close on each side. Cut and burn. And there we go. We have a beautiful necklace, adjustable with a sliding knot. Follow me on Whatnot at Emily Luna for live shark teeth and macrame jewelry auctions.